Hi everybody, we're back today with another video. Today we do have official notes just because we have some math breakdown, because what we're talking about today is raising your own meat birds and the cost of what that entails.
That's right. Before Kimberly proceeds, if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please check us out on Instagram for more behind the scenes stuff of day-to-day action. Also, please subscribe to this channel so it can help it grow, and give it a thumbs up if you find it useful to you.
Okay, so that being said, alright, so meat birds, the ones that we're talking about specifically, you can get any kind of brand of meat birds, but the ones that we're talking about are Cornish Cross. When people generally refer to meat birds, they're talking about birds that are bigger, that grow faster at a faster rate and grow larger at a faster rate because they are bred for meat. So that being said, the ones that we had were Cornish Cross. We went through about 4 to 5 bags of food. Now each bag of food is $20. So 4 to 5 bags of food, that's looking at $100 max. Let's say it's 4.5. We'll just call it $100. So you got $100 right there for food. That was what the food cost was. Then we had to pay for fuel, obviously, to go and actually get the birds. Now we did make sure that we utilized the fuel for other things as well. We didn't just go pick up the chickens, but that fuel cost, it was 290 kilometers one way. So if you multiply that by 2, because we had to obviously come back home, that's 580 kilometers plus our time to drive. So that's not factored in there, but the actual kilometers for the gas, that was 580 kilometers. And because we have a diesel truck, that cost us $78 in fuel.
Yeah.
So
it'll be probably cheaper for anyone living in a city. You probably just have to drive a few kilometers to pick up your chickens, unlike us where we live in the boonies. It takes us a little bit longer.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is why, like I said, we didn't just go pick up the chickens. We obviously went and did other things as well, so we utilized the fuel.
That's right.
Nonetheless, so you're looking at $100 for the food. You're looking at $78 for the fuel that we paid for. You're then looking at, this isn't a cost necessarily, but you're looking at the time that it took to go and actually get the chickens. Like I said, we had to drive there and back and raise them on a daily basis. Now that's not a whole lot of time. It was about 20, maximum 25 minutes a day. It's not, chickens are not super hard to care for, but you do need to make sure that their water's clean, their food is full, and that they have relatively clean space to live in. So on average, you're looking about 20 to 25 minutes a day. So just take that into consideration. Obviously, your time is free if they're your chickens, but it does take some extra work. And then there was the actual purchase of the chickens. So when we bought the meat birds, we bought 15 of them, and that was $34.80. So when you divide that by 15, hi Roxy. When you divide that by 15, that's $2.32 per chicken. Just let her sit.
It's okay.
Roxy, sit. Good girl. You stay. So that's $2.32. Note down. $2.32 per chicken. So altogether, you're looking at $100 for the food, $78 for the fuel, and $34.80 for the total chickens, for actually buying the chickens as chicks. So that's $212.80. That was our total kind of starting or overall cost.
Yeah, basically just to get them up and going and everything like that, and basically day to day. Now the chickens that we butchered them at 7 weeks. I did the work. Well, we did the work ourselves. I butchered them. Kimberly took them into the kitchen, vacuum sealed them, all that stuff.
Clean them off.
You can pay someone to butcher your chickens, but that's going to be an added cost that you probably don't want to pay. So learn to butcher your own chickens. And chickens are an easy animal to start off with. You don't want to get into rabbits because rabbits are cute, so you kind of get emotional with them. So, yeah, butcher your own chickens. Also, a savings that we encountered also for that day is, as I was butchering the chickens, we were able to feed the dogs for the day. So, like Kimberly said, we had 15 meat birds. So that means I had 30 legs or feet that I gave them. I gave them 15 necks. And then all the livers and hearts, because we don't eat livers and hearts. Some people do, so you can keep it for yourselves. But we fed them as well. So that was about a $10 savings on that day alone because it costs about $5 per dog to feed per day.
Per day, yeah.
Yes.
Between 10 to 13 bucks total.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of being able to kind of save that extra money, that was nice. So if we look at the actual chicken, the actual butchering process of the chicken, so we had 15 of them. We got about, on average, 5 pounds per bird. Some of them were just over 5. Some of them were like 6 pounds. Some of them were 4 pounds. But on average, it was about 5 pounds per bird. We ended up with 75 pounds, 75.5 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Of chicken once they were completely dressed. So that was after all of the skin was gone, because Andre did the process where he skins them. If you've not seen that, we'll leave the card up here so that you can actually see the process of how he butchers the chickens.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you take that 75 pounds of chicken and you take the $212.80 divided by 75 pounds, that gives you $2.83. So we originally bought the birds for $2.32. We ended up butchering them, and per pound, it cost us $2.83 for each pound of chicken that we processed.
That's right. You can increase your weight on the chickens if you wanted to by letting them go 8-9 weeks. However, one thing to note is that the longer you let the meat birds go, you're going to have issues with them walking, so moving around, because they do gain so much weight.
So quickly.
Their legs won't be able to handle that weight, so they won't be able to move as much. Also, if you let the chicken age longer, the meat won't be as tender as it would be when you butcher it at 7 weeks or less. Some people, the last round we butchered at 5 and 6 weeks. Just a little smaller ones. They're a little bit more tender. You can fry them, things of that nature. But now you're also losing out on the weight. So those are little tips and tricks that you can go on with that. So like Kimberly said, we paid $2.89 or 83 cents. Basically set and done.
Buy the chickens,
set and done. Now you might not think that's a good price, because in stores you're paying roughly between $3.50 and $4 per pound for boneless, skinless breast. Now we don't have just boneless, skinless breast. We have also legs, which is dark meat, and some people don't like dark meat. To each their own. However, the savings on where I see it is that you can pay the extra cost, but you don't know where the meat bird or that meat came from, what it was fed with, what hormones it was pumped with. A great documentary, if anyone's interested in to know where their food is coming from, is a documentary called Food Inc. Watch that documentary, and you'll never you'll think twice about where your meat comes from. If it's possible, I'll put a card up in here as well. I haven't linked anything like that before, but I'll try to for.
Or we can put it in the description.
Or exactly, in the description as well. Now you also have to consider in the fall, depending on where you live, in the spring, when you get your meat birds, you typically get them around March, so it's still cold outside. You can't put them outside right away, but you need a heat lamp, so you need to take in consideration your electrical costs if you live in the city, or if you're living off-grid with a generator if you don't have solar. Luckily, we were able to do everything just off our solar panels and didn't have any issues with that. The last one that we didn't have to consider because our water's free is water. If you live in the city, you also have to add that cost on top of the numbers that we just explained. And one thing to point out is meat birds do drink a lot more water than egg layers do. So that's one thing to keep in mind. They probably drink, I would say, about 2 liters a day for the 15 birds that we had. that's basically what it averaged out to.
And 2 liters a day, you're looking at 14 liters a week.
That's right.
And that means you're looking at, depending on how long you keep them alive, that's going to depend, but 14 liters per week, which is not a small amount of water, for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So another way that we found actually, and this is something that Andre knew beforehand, but I didn't, chickens are like human well, not human, but animal composters. They will eat anything and everything. So a lot of the stuff that I've perhaps pulled out of the garden that's not quite up to what I want it to be, or just even the scraps too, like little lettuce parts that I chop off, or little celery parts that I chop off, even potatoes, like that are not the greatest.
Today I was picking apples, and there was a couple rotten ones. You give a few to the chickens, they go ballistic over that. The rabbits had some as well, so...
Yeah, the lettuce stalks and stuff. So you can save money by feeding the scraps of your kitchen, because chickens will eat pretty much anything. And if you think about feeding chickens, they're actually a lot healthier. That kind of food is a lot healthier for them than if it's just commercially raised food. Yeah, that being said, you definitely want to make sure that you feed them food, that you have enough food on hand. They're not going to survive on just kitchen scraps, because that would take a lot of kitchen scraps. But it is a really good way to save just a little bit of money on that end as well, and to put it to use rather than just tossing it down the drain or tossing it in the garbage. Why not?
That's
Why
right.
not give it to them?
That's right. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you on the next one.